Oh my god, you guys. Oh my god, what a chapter this one was. Chainsaw Man 176, you guys, one of the better chapters. And Fujimoto has been going crazy with Chainsaw Man, and despite all the bangers that he's been dropping, this was probably my favorite chapter of the year. Before we get into the chapter though, I want to start by saying all you people that doubted Yoru, called her a fraud, said she's not that strong, Makima clears. I want you guys to stay on that side. Granted, I still like Makima a little bit more as a character, but part 2 is not done. And in this character we got more depth into Yoru's character, and I like that a lot. But all the people that doubted her, you guys owe her an apology. I was there from the start. I knew what Yoru was capable of. Anywho, you guys, this chapter begins with a little bit of a flashback of Asa and Yoru, where they were talking about making weapons and not saying like the names of them and stuff like that. And Yoru says, when we make weapons without like calling their names, like a spine sword or whatever, they make a soap sword, but Yoru doesn't call the name. So what we find out is that it's not as strong. Yeah, it's a weapon, but it won't be that strong, right? They can make smaller weapons, I guess, or I guess weaker weapons. And then Yoru says that Chainsaw Man's fear is growing and people are starting to fear him, so obviously he is getting stronger. Then Asa suggests, yo, listen, if it's that big of a deal, why don't you just like stop the beef and stuff like that. Then we find out that Yoru has been actually trying to get Chainsaw Man to throw up some of her comrades, as she calls them, because Chainsaw Man ate them. One nice thing I like is that Chainsaw Man could eat concepts, but I guess he doesn't digest them. So my question is, where the hell do they go? How big is Chainsaw Man's stomach, bro? Like, where do you keep all this? Hello? I have questions that need to be answered. Where is he keeping these things? You know what I mean? Like, from what we know, he's eaten a lot of devils, right? From part 1, we know he ate a lot, like World War II and stuff like that. So I'm very, very curious as to where he keeps them. Maybe it's just something that Fujimoto might explain later. Maybe it'll be something like, oh, it's just there. It's just somewhere and whatever. Anyways, so then Yoru says that there are 2 weapons that she can make that'll be stronger than anything Asa can make, but the catch is that it will be the exact opposite of what she's trying to do. So she's trying to save her comrades. So this insinuates that she will have to sacrifice her comrades, right? Because what she's saying is like the exact opposite of what I'm trying to do. And Yoru says, I want to beat him. I want to show him that I am the more fearsome devil. And here's when we get a look at how prideful Yoru is. She just can't accept Chainsaw Man being stronger than her. Granted that Chainsaw Man is stronger than her. And then after that, you guys, oh my god, this sequence was probably my favorite in Chainsaw Man in a while, where when Yoru says, I'm willing to do anything, I'm willing to give anything to beat Chainsaw Man and prove that I'm more fearsome. And then Yoru says, for that, would I even turn my own children into weapons? And she says, well, I guess I would. And you guys, oh my god, she says, come to mother, tank, and gun. You guys, at first read, because I woke up in the morning and I wasn't fully there, so I read it and I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. But then I went back and I read it and I was like, wait, gun? Like gun? Like gun that Makima was looking for? Gun that wanted Chainsaw Man's heart? Gun that Aki turned into? And I was like, bro, what the hell is going on? So we find out that Yoru is able to command them without actually saying anything out loud. So she has like a subconscious connection with them. And then we go over to the Gulf of Mexico, where there is a devil containment facility, and we see a hole in the wall and an empty room. So one of the devils has broken out, which I find interesting, you guys, now that I'm looking at it again, is that since they could have broken out, I guess they stayed there waiting for Yoru's command, and I find that to be very, very interesting. I don't know which one this is, and another one was in the Soviet Union, in like some mountain, probably like a facility. That's pretty cool. But then they break out, and then we see Chainsaw Man gets hammered, you guys, right through his stomach, and one of his arms gets cut off, which is wild. And another cool thing is that we see Yoru pointing at Chainsaw Man, so she has regained her arms. And then Yoru says, left tank gauntlet, right gun gauntlet. and we see that she has her mouth back. Now, one thing that I was very, very curious about is, obviously, I'm sure that when she attacked Chainsaw Man's stomach, she let out the mouth devil, right? Did she let out like all the other devils that he ate? Not recently, but like if she managed to get one out, did she manage to get all the others out as well, or maybe just one? But if it was only one, then why or how did she manage to target just one? Or was it just a coincidence? Another thing is, excuse me, is that when she pierced Chainsaw Man's stomach enough to let out the mouth devil, is it just a coincidence that the mouth devil didn't actually end up getting killed? I believe that even if the mouth devil did get killed, the concept should stick around. I'm pretty sure it should, because the only way for it to go away is if Chainsaw Man eats it, because he can erase concepts. You guys, this was fire. When I first said it, I was at a loss for words, and you guys, Yoru has actually, wow, I've always been a fan of Yoru. I have always said I like her a lot as a character, and she, to me personally, she's very cool. I saw a lot of people mainly on Twitter downplaying her, but that's what Twitter is. I don't take it seriously, but you know, a lot of people were like, oh, she's a fraud, she's not that strong. But you guys, part 2 of Chainsaw Man for the last few chapters has been just ridiculous. It's been so crazy, and I'm liking how people are starting to realize that it is actually really good. And one thing that I will talk about, or I want to talk about, since it just came to me right now, is that a lot of people were talking about how part 2, like earlier, not right now, like a while ago, maybe like I would say 10 months ago, a year-ish ago, people were like, oh, part 2 is kind of boring, it's not really that good, it's not as good as part 1. And the thing about Fujimoto, you guys, is, or I guess Chainsaw Man, not really Fujimoto. I don't know why I said Fujimoto, because I haven't read like his other stuff, but like, yeah, the thing about Chainsaw Man that has been is that part 1, and then I guess part 2 as well, if you sit down and read them, like if you binge read them all together, they're so good. They make so much more sense, because Fujimoto, he does a lot of like setup things and a lot of chapters that may seem boring at first, but when you're zooming by, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, this is what he did here. I feel, you know, a lot of people, I feel like, miss those things, and Fujimoto is a great author, you know. So when you're a great author, you have to do a lot of things that do, like, you know, a lot of setup chapters and stuff like that, a lot of chapters that people a lot of people tend to consider boring, but that doesn't mean that they actually are. It just means that, you know, some stories are better as a binge. There's nothing wrong with that, but I would urge a lot of people, if you guys are here, I would urge a lot of you guys, if you do, or if you did think part 2 was boring, I would urge you guys to go ahead and reread it. Right now we're getting to the point where, similar to when Makima first revealed that she's a devil, and you know, the chaos that was happening when Aki ended up becoming the gun devil and stuff like that. So I'm getting similar vibes, you know, where it's just chaos, like what the hell is gonna happen. And I hope Yoru doesn't die, you guys. I'm pretty sure here's the thing though, it's tricky with Yoru, because she shares a body with Asa, so it's tricky, because if Yoru dies, then Asa dies too. But Makima ended up dying, so I think that all of them will probably end up dying as well, all the 4 horsemen. But at the same time, maybe they won't, you know. I was on Twitter and I saw a theory where somebody was like, this whole Yoru and Asa situation, it was something, I don't exactly remember what it was, so if you are the person that wrote this and you're watching this, I do apologize, leave it down below. But it was something along the lines of, maybe Asa ended up actually dying back when Yoru took over her body, and Yoru is kind of like, Yoru is the one that hallucinates like Asa as like a split personality kind of, and she's developed a split personality by taking over her brain. Because when Yoru first when she first met Asa, she was like, oh, you're dead, you know. And after that, we found out that since Asa's body couldn't fully recover, her and Yoru basically share a body. So it would be kind of crazy that if Fujimoto does that, that'd be kind of wild. And we would also, you know, learn to love a character that in a way doesn't exist. I mean, not doesn't exist anymore, sorry, not doesn't exist. We saw Asa in part 1. But you guys, this chapter was phenomenal. I can't wait for next chapter to see Chainsaw Man versus Yoru, the War Devil. Oh my god. And another thing that I want to point out, you guys, is when Yoru was first explaining to Asa how to use her powers, she was saying that the greater your guilt is, the stronger the weapon you could create. And Yoru turning her own, I guess, children into weapons like shows how much guilt she most likely feels, you know. And it also kind of humanizes her as a devil too, because where she was like, because at first she questioned that. She said, would I even turn my own children into weapon? And she's like, well, I guess I would. So I guess to me personally, what that seemed like was her, I guess, quote unquote humanity and like her devil side kind of clashing, where the humanity was questioning whether she would be willing to do it, and the devil side said, of course I would. And that again could also be, you know, where Yoru ends up developing this persona of Asa. Asa's like the human side, you know what I mean? So it's like it's nice visual imagery of Yoru's two sides, like two conflicted sides. So it's pretty cool to me, guys. I am excited for next chapter. I always liked Yoru a lot in part 2, guys, but I'm starting to like her even more now. And man, I don't know. I don't, if I had to wish for one of them to win, it would be Chainsaw Man, because obviously he would win. But I wonder where Fujimoto is gonna go with this. I wouldn't put it past Fujimoto to kill Yoru and Asa, but I don't see them going down easily, you know what I mean? Like, Yoru is supposed to be on that level, like Makima and, like, you know, famine and death. So not necessarily like at the same level, but she's up there enough to put up a good fight. So I'm excited, you guys. Maybe Yoru will end up getting Chainsaw Man to spit out, or I guess throw up her comrades, and then she might just, you know, switch with Asa, or Denji might calm down. But that's another thing. How the hell is Denji gonna calm down? Who's gonna calm him down? Because after Nayuta's death, quote unquote death, he's just been going crazy, and rightfully so. This guy's endured so much, you know. First, like the dogs and Miaoi, and then who of course I'm sure is dead as well, you know, powers memories. And then Nayuta ends up he sees Nayuta's head on the plate, which at this point she, you know, she's dead. So I get why Denji's going crazy, but I wonder how he's gonna calm down, you guys. Oh my god, I could talk about this all day. I am so excited, you guys. The hype is real. Chainsaw Man is great. I am excited. I can't wait for next chapters. So if you guys enjoyed, consider leaving a like, commenting. If you're new here, you guys, consider subscribing. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down. Oh, not episode, sorry. I'm used to it from my reaction channel. Well, let me know what you guys thought about this chapter down below. Speaking of episodes and such, if you guys are interested, I do reaction videos. I'll link the channel down below. I have a different channel for that, so feel free to check that out. And you guys, as always, I will catch you guys in the next one.